Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Christopher Thompson.
Within seconds of Christopher Thompson's sentencing hearing.
Before we even get appearances, Mr. Thompson, I'm gonna need you to be respectful.
I ain't doing nothing.
He insulted Jefferson County Judge Tracy Davis.
Well, it's fine. Okay?
What?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Spit on you, I would.
At the end of the day, I'm the one with the pen.
I don't care.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
And it's a sad, sad scenario.
I ain't tripping.
So you just told me eat your and you called me a sucker twice.
The disruptions continued throughout the entire hearing. Thompson was convicted in December of robbery, kidnapping, sodomy, and sexual abuse. In 2023, the 24-year-old abducted a woman, robbed her, and sodomized her twice.
God dang. Poor kid. Poor kid, man. He's going to be down for a very, very, very long time. 60-some years, 65 years for these heinous... But he told the judge to eat his... He basically said he was spit on... He said he was spit on the judge and... She cut his sentence in half. What?
That's the show, damn it!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So we are taking this conversation all the way to Kentucky. We gotta talk about, quite frankly, the craziest, damnable story that I may have heard in a long time. Now, I'm gonna preface this real quick by saying, if you ever wondered what the problem with DEI was, this right here is a clear-cut problem with DEI. If you ever wondered why people look at certain people, certain genres of people, and look at them and say they're probably in their position because of DEI, not because of merit, they are probably gonna refer to situations like Tiffany Henyard and what she did, like Fannie Willis and what she did, and now like this judge and what you about to hear about that she did. Let's get straight to it.
Judge Davis thought the jury's recommendation was too long. She feels he hasn't mentally matured yet and never had a real shot at getting any help early in life.
This is a judge by the name of Tracy Davis. There is a guy who was a rapist and kidnapper. He had a 65-year sentence. Watch as she cuts his sentence in half, and you will not believe some of the stuff we're going to show you after as it pertains to all.
Let's just keep this in perspective. This is a black female judge who is about to cut the sentence of a convicted kidnapper and child rapist. About to cut his sentence in half. And not only that, this kid shows no remorse for what he did. And yet, tell me again, lie to me again about how, of course, this woke judge is a Democrat. Lie to me again about how Democrats care about women and children. Lie to me again about how these people care about the victimhood and the victimization of women. It's a grift. These people don't care about none of that. They only care about how they can use it to score points for themselves, points to advance their own careers. You can tell by the things that they do when they get in these positions. You know a tree by the fruit that it bears. I'm gonna stop. Go ahead, Dave.
But Judge Davis thought the jury's recommendation was too long. She feels he hasn't mentally matured yet and never had a real shot at getting any help early in life.
But if you were to come in here and instead of being hurt and angry, which is what this court hears, right, as a 20-year-old African-American male that has been, experienced this society, etc., and you would show that, yes, okay, this is the situation, this is who I am, I don't want to be this person anymore, I don't want to be in jail for forever.
Thompson repeatedly stated he did not care, not about his sentence, the victim, or her family.
She's already decided she's going to cut this kid's sentence in half. Honestly, she probably already decided she's going to visit him for a conjugal. That's what I think. I'm just saying. You listen to what she's saying. If you didn't come in here so angry, then maybe you wouldn't feel the way that you feel. I mean, maybe, but also he shouldn't be afforded the opportunity to come out here and prove that to nobody. Maybe he could prove that on the inside. And if on the inside in 30 years, someone says, you know what, you really turned around in the last 30 years. Maybe we can shorten this a little bit. All right, so be it. Maybe, depending on what the victim thinks. The victim who will always live with this. The victim that they claim they care so much about, right? Let's move on.
Davis emphasized she's the one that holds the pen, and regardless of what the media may think, she applies the law. To her, 65 years was an extremely long time. As she puts it, it's his whole life, one she doesn't believe should be spent entirely behind bars.
This court does not believe that Mr. Thompson, if given the resources that he can get while incarcerated, is beyond being rehabilitated.
I mean, if you're blown away by what you just heard, just wait, we got more for you. But I mean, my God, is that the most perfect example of suicidal empathy? Here you have a rapist kidnapper who's showing no remorse over what he did. The jury says 65 years, and then the judge comes in and says, well, you're black. What was it? In essence, you're African American. You grew up in this society. Like, are you a judge who is applying the law equally and with blindfold on, or are you a therapist? She's acting like a therapist. So she basically says, okay, they wanted you to have 65 years. I'm going to cut it in half. Here is Thompson. Is it bleeped? It is bleeped. So here's Thompson. After he hears that, she's going to cut this thing in half, this sentence in half. You'd think he might say, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'll serve my time and I'm going to get out there a better person. Instead, he tells her that he wants her to eat his bitch and spit on her.
Mr. Thompson, I'm going to need you to be respectful.
I ain't doing nothing.
Well, it's fine. Okay?
What?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Spit on you, I would.
At the end of the day, I'm the one with the pen.
Sentencing.
Yeah, that probably turned her on. That's what I'm concluding. I'm concluding that turned her on. That's the only logical conclusion I can come to. That's the only conclusion that makes any sense. She was just like, well, this might be my opportunity to catch me a youngin', right? That's the only way to make any sense of this. See, this is how these woke judges, these faux therapists, these feminists, these Marxists, these communists, this is how they ruin countries and they ruin communities and they ruin society. And this is how they perpetuate more crime and more violence. This is the most disrespectful I've ever seen somebody be in a courtroom. Most disrespectful I've ever seen. And he gets his sentence cut in half? I mean, this is, I don't get it. I can't make sense of this. Look, this is that type of woke, left-wing, Democrat ruling and governance. You're experiencing it firsthand. And she's in that same state with that governor, that Bashir cat, who fully supports gender reassignment surgery for kids, who fully supports child genital mutilation. She probably believes in that too. She obviously believes that she's a therapist and not a judge. She should have gone into therapy. If you have to be that nurturer, then go be a therapist. Let them come and sit on your couch and talk to you, if that's what you want to do. But you got no business being a judge, acting like somebody's therapist. It ain't your job to say, oh, well, if you came from a better background, it ain't your job to do social experiments. It's your job to enforce the law. If this man kidnapped and raped a young girl with no remorse and says when he gets out he's gonna do it to the family too, and shows no respect to the judge in her own courtroom, after she made the threat, the empty threat, I hold the pen. Yeah, you hold the pen, and when it's time for you to do something with it, you cut the sentence in half after being disrespected. These are the kind of people we can't have in leadership. These are the kind of people that end up in leadership because they are of the right complexion, or because they are of the right gender, or because they have the right sexual orientation. That's wrong. That's where DEI is a problem. That's where giving people a seat at the table that they have not earned is a problem. And that is why our communities, that's why we stay behind. That's why we stay bringing up the rear. Because everything is about skin folk and representation instead of being about excellence and merit, standing firm for real truth. You was brought up on the wrong side of the tracks, and maybe if you weren't so angry, it don't matter. It don't matter what might have happened if he had a different upbringing. He ain't had that upbringing. And the person that he victimized don't care what would have happened hypothetically if he had a better upbringing. He needs to pay for the crime. That's a heinous crime. And one would think that a female judge of color that's a Democrat would swing the gavel heavily and swiftly in the area of punishing a man who actually did the thing that women fearmonger about. That's why y'all chose the bear, right? That's why you choose the bear, right? Meanwhile, you have a woke black female judge who just let somebody off, who cut their sentence in half after doing the very thing that made you choose the bear. Ironic, ain't it? At least that's what I think. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell a friend to tell a friend. More importantly, remember, stay skeptical, stay informed, and always question the narrative. Until we meet again.
See you next time.